The other day, I did a live stream doing more circuit experience tests on Gran Turismo 7. I actually did a video just up there about the Nordschleife test that I did the other day, and yeah, that was really difficult alone. So today, I did a few more of the European tracks, and mostly they weren't too difficult. I think I did Monza, I think I did Barcelona and the Red Bull Ring, and they weren't too bad. I had a little bit of trouble here and there with, I think it was Barcelona, but overall not too bad. And then I went to Le Mans. My goodness, that was a step up. I thought the Nordschleife one was hard. This one was a lot more difficult. And the thing is, with these circuit experience tests, they get split up into sectors. So you do each sector individually, and then you do a full lap to beat a set lap time. And mostly it wasn't actually too bad. I did the first few sectors, but it was when I came to the final sector. Things took a sudden step up in difficulty. So to give a basic explanation of what was so difficult here, is that basically this car has zero rear downforce, and you're going through these high speed left and right turns in the final sector of Le Mans, and then you approach the final two chicanes as well, which are also incredibly difficult. And the thing is when you're taking these fast turns at high speed, if you turn just a little bit too much, just a little bit too much, the rear lets go and you are gone. And not only do you have to be incredibly precise, you have to go super fast as well, because the goal lap time is difficult to beat. So I'm going to take some of the live stream here and we're going to look through what I had to experience and how I kind of learned as I went, and what kind of techniques I found that helped me get through this test if you guys want to do it. I may do a little bit of voicing over these next few clips as we go, just so I can explain what's happening. But anyway, I hope you enjoy it, and thank you for watching. Also remember to check out SimRace247 if you guys want to keep up with the latest sim racing news and updates. Make sure to check them out. So here we go, the final sector of Le Mans. Right, to start with, we're going to see one of my first attempts at actually trying this sector. So we approach this fast right-hander here. I turned to the right expecting a whole lot of grip, but I got absolutely none, and the rear just flicked out and I was facing backwards. Now we're going to take a look at me taking a little bit more of a cautious approach to this final sector to try actually get a lap in and complete and see how far I am off. So I coasted a little bit through these turns, just making sure I could keep the car stable, and I actually didn't do too badly, at least what I thought at the time. So and I got to this turn, I thought I was going to go flying off the track, but I managed to just hold on, and I approached the final chicanes, which I wasn't entirely sure how to take at this point. I was just cutting a little bit, as much as I thought I could do, a little bit of the curbs in the final two turns to the line, and oh my, I'm like, how many seconds off is that? Too many. Yeah, exactly. I was way too far off. So I decided I had to pick up my speed to these high speed turns, carry more confidence through these turns to actually get myself any closer to that gold time, even the silver time. This is my second completed attempt, and I still wasn't even in the silvers. So I started trying to figure out how to take this first turn faster. Trying to go flat didn't seem to work, turning too much didn't work. I tried this technique of turning hard, trying to force the car into understeer. On that attempt, it actually kind of worked, but the only reason it worked was because I caught the grass and it kind of flicked me back onto the track in a kind of neutral position. So, as you will see right here, I'm going to try it again because it worked that time, but that time I used too much grass, and this time the car just flicks right around because that's not the way to do it. So then I tried another technique, which was to brake while accelerating, which is what I'm trying here. I'm going flat into the turns. All these fast turns I'm going pretty much flat, but as I enter them, I just drag the brake a little bit, which completely stabilized the car. And this ended up being, okay, that time around I tried to coast through the turn just to see if that did any good, but it didn't work. So I went back to this technique of dragging the brake before entering the turns, and that's kind of the way I did it from here on. As you can see, I've made myself more confident with the first two turns, and now my focus moved to these final chicanes. On this particular run, I was ahead of my previous best, but only just, cutting as much of that curb as I could, and I was only a couple tenths ahead, and that still wasn't even enough to get me into the silvers. So it was all about carrying as much speed as I could through that final, or second to last chicane, and not to get the car too bouncy over the final curb right here. As you can see, got myself a bit sideways, and this time I'm absolutely throwing it through that second to last chicane, And then after throwing it so fast through that first chicane, I'm carrying too much speed to actually make the second one. So then I learned I had to slow it down a little bit more for the second one. Still not even in the silvers. So the first few fast turns, I've got that nailed. Here, I'm just trying to build that confidence. Look how fast I'm carrying it through here now. And I end up making this corner too tight for myself. Got a little bit of oversteer there, but is it good enough? Not quite, but we're getting closer. We're getting closer. As you can see, there's my ghost. I had a bad first part of the sector that time around. As you saw, I was quite far behind my ghost. I just absolutely sent the car through that that chicane there, and I overtook my ghost. So I knew all the time that was left, it was in that final couple chicanes. That time around, I finally got into the silvers, but I still wasn't at the golds. I was a 10th and a half off of the golds, and this time, so close. I shaved up another 100th or so of a second. Again, we got very close to it, but only another couple hundredths of a second. Now, 50 minutes from when I started this this thing, have a look. Come on, yes. I can actually take that flat, so it's a new thing I've learned. Yes! Yes! Gold! Finally! Finally, I got another gold. So that took me very long to actually complete. That took me too long. That was way more difficult than any of the license tests that I experienced. It was more difficult than the Nordschleife circuit experience that I did. That is so far the most difficult test I've done on Gran Turismo 7. The thing that made that one so difficult was the first few turns in that final sector. It was just the car being so fragile, so sensitive and so loose that just the tiniest misplacement of steering angle and your lap is over. And not only being so precise with your steering inputs, you can't touch the curbs because they pull you around and they also send you into a spin, and same thing with the grass. If you go too wide on a turn, you're going to lose too much time and you're not going to be able to get a gold. There's just so many things you have to get precise on this particular sector. And then once you get those first few turns right, it's all about being confident, throwing the car as fast as you can through that final couple chicanes. And also that final chicane, using as much curb as you can without it spinning you on the exit. And it's quite funny because that was only the final sector of the track. After this, I still had to complete an entire lap of the track. And it's quite funny because I completed the entire lap on my first attempt. I got through the whole track, I got to that final sector, and I did it pretty much perfectly on my first go. I didn't do it as fast as I would have done it on the single final sector, but I still got it really precise and really clean, and it was enough to get me into the golds immediately on the full lap attack. Let me know if you've seen any other extremely difficult circuit experience tests, because I'll be happy enough to give them a go. This one took me a long time to do. I can't imagine that there'll be many things more difficult than this one. But let me know if you do see any. Thank you for watching, and catch you guys soon.